it was a tough pool to sell. I think the mold was bad, and we quit. Basically, we were buying a lot of the pools from them because it was an easy sell, right? And I talked to the owner. Said, hey, we got problems. This one bench seat is always high. Oh, we don't have problems with it. I said, well, I tell you what, I'm buying a lot of your product. Why don't you send one of your installers up here and show me what we're doing wrong? I mean, we're buying enough to make it, they can send a guy up here for a couple of days just to assist us, and they wouldn't do it type thing. And then they started running deals. Okay, well, it's free shipping if you get 4 pools or more. So we got a couple times we got 4 pools. Maybe one of them was a small pool. They come back and say, well, we don't make any margin on a small pool. That doesn't count. It's like, well, you tell me the game, but then you change the rules on me type thing. So we got disinterested with those guys because it was, just stupid stuff, in my opinion. Trilogy, I know the 3 guys that owned it type thing. They're up in somewhere in Tennessee, and they actually all 3 of them and their salesperson all stayed at my house type thing. One of the guys graduated at Ford from me, same major at Auburn type thing, which is kind of funny. I didn't know him.
Wow.
It was Rick Black. Yeah. So anyway, and one of the guys was a NASA scientist, Ray Cronus type thing, and they made a nice pool type thing, and that's what I've got in my backyard, in my house. But it's one of these deals. It's like it's just we started changing our business model around the times we got hooked up with them. The other guys we used was called Royal Fiberglass Pools, and they were in. That's actually who got us started in it, but they were in Breaux Bridge, Louisiana, and Tony Hebert was our contact, and a bunch of old Cajun guys, and their manufacturing was all over the place. You get pools that are really thin, or pools that are really heavy, and you just get things that they just really weren't that consistent type thing. And so we started going. Then Trilogy started offering colors, so we started using Trilogy color pools, and then we bought a couple color pools from Royals that were terrible. And it was all these things. Just every time we find something we liked, that something would click, wouldn't work out well for us. And that's just kind of how it went down. Then really in 2005 we started getting away from it. So I think in the day we put in about 200 fiberglass pools, and it's pretty much split between the 3 of them. We put in I think it was like 2 San Juan pools, and I think maybe a dozen leisure pools, which are nice pools when they're being made in San Antonio type thing. Then the rest of them was pretty much a split back between the 3 manufacturers type thing. And, some of the pools set well, and some of them didn't, and you start realizing, well, it's really what the mold's made out, how good the mold is. And and that's and that's sort of kind of what you get into. You're at the mercy of the manufacturer. So all of these things kind of come into play on what you're doing, and then you're not making money. You're like, man, we're going to find something different, and that's all that played into account, that type of stuff.
It's interesting to me that. Go ahead.
Yeah, we had one other thing. We started the Florida operation up. We were really just getting started. I sold to a buddy of mine that I was in textiles with, and he ran it. Doug Davis, and they didn't do a good job, in my opinion. They were doing fiberglass switch guys like we did. Anyway, we took the area back over in 2009. They called it quits. We took it. We make money, and they were killing over there now. They had a job sold down in. They had like 3 or 4 jobs on the books when we took it over. And one of them was a fiberglass pool up on top of a $4 million house down in Destin, right off the beach type thing. And it was coming from Latham Viking down in Florida. And what it was, they want a very specific height on it. So they paid a buttload of money to take this pool, cut the bottom out, get to whatever height they were looking for, and then fiberglass it back together. And so we paid a huge premium on it. No big deal. I'm already paying the price. Okay. Well, then it gets worse. All right. So we get the pool up in here, and we get it on the roof and all this stuff. Anyway, we put water in it, and the pool leaks immediately from where they put it back together. And so this job that I didn't sell, that we just inherited, well, I got paid for the pool show, but I've got a lot of time. I got to pay for the crane. I got these monies into it, and the GC won't pay me because the pool's leaking. I really don't blame them type thing. Well, I couldn't get the guys up because I knew we weren't going to buy any more pools from them. I couldn't get them up there. It took about 2 months to get them to come up and fix their product. But I'm like, I just talk